Have you ever been told, just be detached? Maybe after a breakup, a failure, a disappointment. And every time you heard it, it probably sounded impossible. Because how can you be detached from things you care about? Your goals, your dreams, your relationships, your future. So many people believe detachment means becoming cold, emotionless, or giving up on life. But that's not what Krishna taught. In fact, the real meaning of detachment might completely change the way you live. Most people think detachment means not caring. But imagine a farmer. He plants the seeds, waters them every day, protects them from harm, works with complete dedication. But can he control the rain? Can he control the weather? Can he force the seeds to grow overnight? No. He can control his effort, but not the outcome. This is where suffering begins. When we try to control things that were never ours to control, and when reality doesn't match our expectations, we suffer. Not because we cared, but because we became attached to a specific result. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna never tells Arjuna to stop acting. He doesn't tell him to abandon responsibility. He doesn't tell him to stop caring. Instead, Krishna says something far more profound. Act. Give your best. Fulfill your duty. But don't become a prisoner of the outcome. Because the moment your peace depends entirely on success, fear enters your life. What if I fail? What if I lose? What if things don't go my way? And suddenly, the outcome controls you, instead of you controlling yourself. Think about how many times we say, I'll be okay when I get the job, when I get married, when my business succeeds, when people finally respect me. Without realizing it, we hand our happiness over to future events. We stop living in the present and start living inside expectations. The mind becomes trapped between hope and fear, always waiting, always worrying, always chasing, and peace slowly disappears. This is where many people get confused. Detachment does not kill ambition. Detachment makes ambition healthier. Passion says, I want this. Attachment says, I need this to be happy. Passion creates action. Attachment creates anxiety. Passion helps you grow. Attachment makes you suffer. One comes from inspiration. The other comes from dependency. And Krishna wanted us to understand the difference. Imagine two students preparing for the same exam. Both study hard. Both work with discipline. Both want success. But the first student constantly thinks, what if I fail? What will people think? My future depends on this. The second student focuses on preparation, learns, improves, works sincerely, and accepts that the result will come later. Who do you think experiences more peace? Who performs with greater clarity? Often, it's the second student, because fear consumes energy. Presence creates performance. Detachment doesn't mean becoming emotionless. It means being able to enjoy success without becoming addicted to it, and face failure without being destroyed by it. It means remaining steady when life changes. Because life always changes. People change. Circumstances change. Results change. But when your inner state depends on none of them, you discover something powerful. Freedom. Not freedom from responsibility. Freedom from unnecessary suffering. So how do we practice detachment? Start by asking yourself, what am I trying to control that I cannot control? Focus on your effort, not your obsession. Spend a few minutes each day reflecting. Read wisdom, that reminds you what truly matters. Write down what you're grateful for. Sit quietly and observe your thoughts. The goal is not to stop caring. The goal is to stop letting outcomes control your peace. Little by little, the mind begins to loosen its grip, and life feels lighter. Perhaps detachment was never about giving up. Perhaps it was about letting go of the illusion of control. Krishna didn't ask us to stop dreaming. He didn't ask us to stop striving. He asked us to act fully while remaining free internally, to work without fear, to love without possession, to pursue goals without becoming their prisoner. Because true peace doesn't come from controlling every outcome. It comes from knowing that your peace is bigger than any outcome. So let me ask you, what is one thing in your life that you're finding difficult to let go of? Share your thoughts in the comments. And if you'd like to explore these teachings further, I've shared some resources in the description. Until next time, act with purpose, but don't let the outcome decide your peace.